Welcome, coin collectors. Today we are diving into the amazing world of Roosevelt Dime coin from the United States. These small 10-cent coins may look ordinary, but they hold incredible history, rare mint errors, and hidden value that many people overlook. Stay with us till the end because you might discover a valuable treasure hiding in your pocket change. The 1966 Roosevelt Dime is one of the most interesting modern American coins because it was produced during a major change in United States coinage history. This small silver-colored coin carries the inscription United States of America, E Pluribus Unum, One Dime, Liberty, and In God We Trust, and it represents both American heritage and economic transition during the 1960s. Although millions of these dimes were made for circulation, collectors still search for high-grade examples, rare mint errors, and special varieties that can be worth far more than face value. The 1966 dime belongs to the famous Roosevelt Dimes series, which began in 1946 to honor President Franklin Delano Roosevelt after his death in 1945. Roosevelt was deeply admired for leading the nation during the Great Depression and World War II, and he was also connected to the March of Dimes campaign that fought polio, a disease from which he personally suffered. Because of this connection, the dime denomination was chosen to commemorate him permanently on American coinage. The obverse side of the 1966 Roosevelt dime features the left-facing portrait of President Franklin D. Roosevelt. The word liberty appears along the left side, while the national motto, In God We Trust, is located beneath Roosevelt's chin. The year 1966 is displayed at the lower right side of the coin. The portrait was designed by John R. Sinnock, the chief engraver of the United States Mint. Sinnock's initials JS appear near the truncation of Roosevelt's neck. Many people during the 1940s mistakenly believed the initials stood for Joseph Stalin, causing rumors and controversy during the early Cold War years, although the initials simply represented the designer's name. The reverse side of the coin contains a torch in the center symbolizing liberty, with an olive branch representing peace on one side, and an oak branch symbolizing strength and independence on the other. Around the reverse edge of the inscriptions United States of America, One Dime, and E Pluribus Unum, which means out of many, one. The year 1966 was historically significant for American coinage because the United States had recently removed silver from circulating dimes and quarters. Prior to 1965, Roosevelt dimes were composed of 90% silver and 10% copper. However, rising silver prices and widespread coin hoarding forced the government to change the metal composition. Beginning in 1965, dimes were struck using a clad composition made from copper and nickel. The outer layers consisted of cupro-nickel bonded to a pure copper core. Therefore, the 1966 dime contains no silver despite its silver appearance. This transition marked the end of an important era in American coin collecting because circulating silver coinage disappeared from daily commerce. Many Americans at the time saved older silver coins while spending the new clad coins, leading to shortages throughout the nation. The 1966 Roosevelt dime was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, although no mint mark appears on the coin. During the coin shortage of the mid-1960s, the United States Mint temporarily removed mint marks from all circulating coins from 1965 through 1967 in an effort to discourage collectors from hoarding coins by mint location. As a result, 1,966 dimes do not carry the D or S mint marks that collectors normally expect from Denver or San Francisco issues. This policy makes the 1966 dime unique within the Roosevelt Dimes series because every circulation strike from that year appears without a mint mark regardless of where it was actually produced. More than 920 million 1966 Roosevelt dimes were minted, making it one of the highest mintage coins in the series. Because of this enormous production, circulated examples remain very common today and are generally worth only face value or slightly more. However, uncirculated examples with strong luster and excellent strike quality can command premiums among collectors. Coins graded MS65 or higher by professional grading companies such as PCGS or NGC are especially desirable because relatively few survive in pristine condition. Many 1966 dimes entered circulation immediately after production and suffered contact marks, weak strikes, and surface wear, making superb examples difficult to locate decades later. The composition of the 1966 dime includes 75% copper and 25% nickel on the outer layers surrounding a pure copper center. The coin weighs approximately 2.27 grams and measures 17.9 millimeters in diameter. Its reeded edge helps prevent counterfeiting and historically discouraged the clipping of precious metal from coins. Although the 1966 dime no longer contains silver, its design and size remain almost identical to earlier silver Roosevelt dimes. Many Americans initially found it difficult to distinguish between the old silver dimes and the new clad versions, especially because both shared similar appearances. Collectors pay close attention to the strike quality of 1966 Roosevelt dimes. Certain coins display sharply defined horizontal lines across the torch on the reverse side. These are known as full torch examples by NGC or full band examples by PCGS. Such coins are considered superior strikes and often command significantly higher values. The torch bands are among the first design elements to wear or strike weekly, so complete detail in this area is highly prized. A 1966 dime with full bands, brilliant luster, and few imperfections can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on grade and rarity. The 1973 D Roosevelt dime is an important and fascinating coin in modern United States numismatic history. This small 10-cent coin carries the inscriptions United States of America, E pluribus unum, one dime, liberty, and in God we trust, while also honoring one of America's most influential presidents, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Although millions of these coins are produced for everyday circulation, the 1973 D dime remains highly collectible because of its historical background, minting characteristics, condition rarity, and valuable mint-era varieties. Collectors around the world continue searching for exceptional examples of this coin, especially those with strong strikes, brilliant luster, and rare production mistakes. The Roosevelt Dime series itself began in 1946 shortly after the death of President Roosevelt, replacing the earlier Mercury Dime design. Roosevelt's image was selected because of his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II, as well as his connection to the March of Dimes campaign dedicated to fighting polio. The obverse side of the 1973 D Roosevelt Dime features the left-facing portrait of President Franklin D. Roosevelt. Along the left edge appears the word liberty, while the national motto In God We Trust is located beneath Roosevelt's chin. The date 1973 is displayed to the lower right of the portrait, and directly beside the date appears a small D mint mark representing the Denver Mint where the coin was produced. The portrait was created by John R. Sinek, who served as chief engraver of the United States Mint. His initials JS are visible near Roosevelt's neck truncation. When the Roosevelt dime was first released in 1946, some people mistakenly believed the initials represented Soviet leader Joseph Stalin during the tense years of the Cold War, but they simply honored the designer himself. The reverse side of the 1973 D dime contains one of the most recognizable coin designs in American history. In the center stands a torch symbolizing liberty and enlightenment. To the left of the torch is an olive branch representing peace, while an oak branch on the right symbolizes strength, courage, and independence. Around the upper edge of the reverse are the words United States of America, and below appears the denomination one dime. The Latin phrase E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one, is positioned near the center of the design. Together, these elements create a balanced artistic composition that reflect American national values and ideals. The Denver Mint struck hundreds of millions of Roosevelt dimes in 1973 to meet the demands of circulation across the country. During the early 1970s, the United States economy was undergoing significant changes, and coin production remained extremely important for commerce. Unlike Roosevelt dimes dated 1964 and earlier, the 1973 D dime contains no silver. Beginning in 1965, the United States Mint transitioned to clad coinage because rising silver prices caused older silver coins to disappear from circulation. The 1973 D dime, therefore, consists of a copper core sandwich between outer layers of cupro-nickel. This composition contains 75% copper and 25% nickel on the surface layers surrounding a pure copper center. Although the coin still appears silver in color, the copper edge becomes visible when viewed from the side. The 1973 D Roosevelt dime weighs approximately 2.27 grams and measures 17.9 millimeters in diameter. Its reeded edge serves both decorative and practical purposes. Historically, reeds prevented dishonest individuals from shaving precious metal from coin edges. Even though the 1973 D dime contains no silver, the reeded edge remained an important traditional feature of American coinage. The coin's relatively small size made it convenient for everyday commerce, vending machines, banks, and public transportation systems throughout the United States. One of the most interesting aspects of the 1973 D Roosevelt dime involved the quality of the strike. Collectors pay very close attention to the horizontal bands across the torch on the reverse side of the coin. When these bands appear fully separated and sharply defined, the coin may qualify for the full bands designation from grading companies such as PCGS or the full torch designation from NGC. These fully struck examples are highly desirable because most circulation strikes from the Denver Mint display weaker details due to high-speed production processes. A 1973 D dime with full bands, brilliant mint luster, and minimal surface marks can command significant premiums in the numismatic marketplace. Condition plays a critical role in determining the value of a 1973 D Roosevelt dime. Most circulated examples remain common and are worth only face value or slightly more. However, coins preserved in pristine uncirculated condition can become extremely valuable. Mint state examples graded MS65, MS66, or higher are particularly attractive to collectors. The highest grade certified coins may sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on strike quality, eye appeal, and rarity within the grading population. Since dimes are small coins that easily acquire scratches and contact marks during handling, locating superb gem quality specimens is far more difficult than many people realize. The 1973 D Roosevelt dime is also well known among collectors for its mint error varieties. Error coins occur when mistakes happen during the manufacturing process at the mint. These unusual coins often become highly valuable because of their rarity and uniqueness. Some common errors found on 1973 D dimes include double dies, off-center strikes, clip planchets, die cracks, broad strikes, and missing clad layers. A double die error occurs when the design is accidentally impressed twice onto the die at slightly different angles, producing visible doubling in letters or numbers. Off-center strikes happen when the planchet is improperly positioned during striking, leaving part of the design missing. Clip planchets result from errors during the blank cutting process, causing a section of the coin to be absent. Another fascinating error involves missing clad layers. Since a coin is made from bonded layers of metal, manufacturing defect occasionally cause one outer layer to separate or fail to bond properly. These coins often appear copper-colored on one side and weigh less than standard examples. Such dramatic mint errors. The 1965 Roosevelt dime is one of the most historically important modern coins ever produced by the United States Mint. This small coin, carrying the inscriptions United States of America, E Pluribus Unum, One Dime, Liberty, and In God We Trust, represents a major turning point in American monetary history. Although millions of people use the 1965 dime in everyday commerce without much attention, collectors today recognize it as the first regular-issue Roosevelt dime struck without silver for circulation. The coin marks the beginning of the clad coinage era in the United States and symbolizes an economic transition that permanently changed American coins forever. Because of this historical significance, the 1965 Roosevelt dime remains one of the most studied and collected coins in modern numismatics. The Roosevelt Dime series itself began in 1946 shortly after the death of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Roosevelt had served as the 32nd President of the United States and led the nation through the Great Depression and World War II. He was also closely connected to the March of Dimes campaign, which worked to combat polio, a disease from which he personally suffered. Because of Roosevelt's strong association with the March of Dimes organization, the United States government selected the dime denomination to honor him permanently. The new Roosevelt dime replaced the earlier Mercury Dime design that had circulated since 1916. Designed by John R. Sinek, the Roosevelt dime quickly became one of the most recognizable American coins. The obverse side of the 1965 Roosevelt dime features a left-facing portrait of President Roosevelt. Along the left edge appears the word Liberty, while the phrase In God We Trust is displayed beneath Roosevelt's chin. The date 1965 appears on the lower right side of the coin. Near the base of Roosevelt's neck are the initials JS, representing the designer John R. Sinek. When the Roosevelt dime was first released in 1946, some individuals mistakenly believed the initials referred to Soviet leader Joseph Stalin, especially during the tense years of the Cold War. However, the initials simply honor the engraver who created the design. The reverse side of the coin displays a central torch symbolizing liberty and enlightenment. Beside the torch are two branches, an olive branch representing peace and an oak branch symbolizing strength and independence. Around the outer edge are the inscriptions United States of America and 1 dime. The Latin phrase e pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one, appears near the center of the reverse design. Together, these elements create a balanced composition filled with patriotic symbolism and national ideals. The year 1965 was an extraordinary period in United States coinage history because the nation faced a severe coin shortage. Throughout the early 1960s, the price of silver rose dramatically on world markets. Since dimes, quarters, and half dollars contained silver, many Americans began hoarding coins because their metal value approached or exceeded their face value. As silver coins disappeared from circulation, businesses, banks, and vending machine operators struggled with shortages of small change. In response, Congress passed the Coinage Act of 1965, one of the most important monetary laws in American history. This legislation removed silver from dimes and quarters entirely while reducing silver content in half dollars from 90% to 40%. As a result, the 1965 Roosevelt dime became the first regular circulating dime struck using a clad composition instead of silver. The coin consists of a pure copper core bonded between outer layers made from 75% copper and 25% nickel. Although the surface appears silver in color, the coin contains no precious silver metal. When viewed from the edge, the copper core is clearly visible as a reddish stripe. This new composition reduced production costs while allowing the government to continue supplying sufficient coinage for the economy. The 1965 Roosevelt dime weighs approximately 2.27 grams and measures 17.9 millimeters in diameter. Like earlier dimes, it features a reeded edge. Historically, reeded edges help prevent people from shaving precious metal from coins. Even though the 1965 dime no longer contains silver, the reeded edge remained part of the coin's traditional design. The coin's compact size and durable composition made it ideal for circulation, vending machines, and everyday transactions throughout the country. One unique aspect of the 1965 Roosevelt dime involves mint marks. Normally, United States coins carry mint marks identifying the facility where they were produced. However, from 1965 through 1967, the United States Mint temporarily removed mint marks from circulating coinage. Officials believed collectors were hoarding coins by mint location, contributing to the national coin shortage. Therefore, all 1965 dimes appear without mint marks regardless of whether they were struck in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. This absence of mint marks makes the 1965 dime distinct within the Roosevelt dime series. More than 1.3 billion Roosevelt dimes dated 1965 were struck, making it one of the highest mintage dimes in American history. Because of this enormous production, circulated examples remain extremely common today and are generally worth only face value. However, coins preserved in exceptional uncirculated condition can command substantial premiums among collectors. High-grade mint state examples with strong luster, minimal contact marks, and sharp strike details are especially desirable. Since dimes are small coins that easily acquire scratches and abrasions during handling, pristine examples are far scarcer than a large mintage might suggest. Collectors pay special attention to the strike quality of Roosevelt dimes, particularly the horizontal bands across the torch on the reverse side. Coins displaying fully separated and sharply defined bands may qualify for the coveted full bands designation from grading services such as PCGS. Full bands examples indicate a stronger than average strike and are highly valued by collectors. A 1965 Roosevelt dime with full bands in high mint state grades can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on rarity and eye appeal.